Welcome to PLZ Soccer's YouTube channel. I'm delighted to say I am joined by Dutch football expert Michael Statham. Michael, thank you for joining us here on PLZ Soccer's YouTube channel. Rangers look set to announce the signing of Robin Pröpper. Tell the Rangers fans, what can they expect from their new centre-back?
Robin Pröpper is a centre-back that I find solid, unspectacular, but I think that's what Rangers are looking for, an experienced leader that can defend really well. He's a leader in the sense that he's not a quiet leader. He will talk, or he will speak up if he doesn't believe something's right. He's played in the Netherlands his whole career. He's obviously looking for a move now at the age of 30 where he can go abroad, make some money, of course, at a different club, play in Europe. I think in terms of a footballing level, I think going from Twente to Rangers is about on par, but you're obviously going for those things I've mentioned, and just wants that adventure abroad now. He's looking for something that where he can go and thrive, and yeah, I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be absolutely fine for Rangers.
Rangers, they've dipped into the Eredivisie market a number of times in recent times. How do you think he will adapt to the change? You know, some players, they've come and they haven't quite reached the same heights that they did in the Netherlands.
Absolutely understandable. I think people will question all the time when they come from the Eredivisie. The league's growing though. I mean, it's now the 6th best league in Europe, according to UEFA. So there are a lot of positives about that league with its strength in depth, especially at the top now. You can pick up a player from RZ or Twente and they could be just as good if they were coming from, say, Feyenoord or PSV. So with Pröpper, you've got someone who's been there his whole career, and I understand that going from the Eredivisie, you could be quite hit and miss, particularly when it comes to forward players. Rangers, of course, picking up the likes of Cyril Dessers, who I thought would do quite well and has scored some goals at least at Rangers. Hopefully next season he can score more. But there have been a couple where I've also expressed doubt. Go back and find them. I've talked about Rangers players before. Sam Lammers, didn't think he'd do that well. He surprised me, of course, since going back to a Dutch league with Utrecht and now going back to playing for Twente, of course, this season. That people can change their careers, they can grow in confidence, they can go up or down, of course. But I think with Pröpper, you've got someone that's been stable, consistent. It's a late bloomer, and I can see it working. I think he's got an overall game where he's very good in the air, but not the best. But, you know, someone that's going to be dependable in that aspect when coming to the Scottish League. It's very physical. Good on the ball, not the best on the ball, but very solid, playing in the Netherlands. I think he's quite a rare player to have in the Netherlands because he is strong, physical, someone who's going to get balls away, that kind of defender. You don't see them too often in the Eredivisie. I think Pröpper fits into that category quite nicely, and I think he'll do well going to Scotland where the style is very different. And I just think that this one will work. The Eredivisie is not known for centre-backs, but the Netherlands as a national team definitely are now. He's never been within that fold. He's never been able to have that call-up, get that cap. But he's someone who would be doing that, of course, if the Netherlands didn't have the dearth of options that they do. Van Dijk, De Ligt, De Vrij, Timber, I could go on. Lots of potential there as well still. So Pröpper's never been able to be able to play for the Netherlands, but I do think he's a consistent player who is very dependable.
Pröpper is, of course, the captain of FC Twente at the moment. What can the Rangers fans expect to see on the park? Is he a vocal leader, or is he more someone behind the scenes that will get the players going?
Yeah, definitely vocal on the pitch. The captain of Twente, he was a leader at Heracles as well before that for a number of years. A late bloomer in that he went to the top of the Eredivisie later on in his career. But yeah, a leader and dependable one at that one on the pitch. He is very vocal. I mean, there are things you can go and find online. There are some people that are joking that you can argue the referees about handballs over in the Scottish League now. You can go and find clips about online. He's someone that will speak up for sure. And I think once he finds his feet in Scotland, he will be saying one or two things, especially when he got all those fans behind you at Rangers. It's something that he's used to. Big crowds, vociferous atmospheres, playing in the Netherlands. The derby between Twente and Heracles is not as big as the old firm, but he is used to playing away at Ajax, PSV Feyenoord. And Twente too, of course, have a big following. They're one of those clubs, a little bit like Man United, if you like, where people will choose to support them, or Ajax, even though they don't live in Enschede. So he is used to having a lot of people watching him, following him, seeing him, being like against him, being a bit of a pantomime villain, and he's used to all of that. So yeah, in terms of that aspect, he is a leader, he's a captain of Twente, and he will definitely speak up.
Twente and Rangers, they seem to be getting a nice partnership going. Sam Lammers now going the other way. It didn't quite work for him in Scotland, but he was tearing it up last season in the Netherlands. Can you really understand why that didn't quite happen for him?
Do you know what? I couldn't really, because I mean, in terms of him going back to the Netherlands and doing particularly well, as I didn't think that he was able to make that move so early in his career originally to a top 5 league. He obviously bounced around a few of them without scoring many goals. But you get the best out of him playing him as a number 9. I think he was missing a step in his career. He had a big injury as well when with PSV. He shouldn't have left them when he did. So when, of course, going to Rangers first of all, I didn't think it would work out for him because he needed that extra move first. He needed that confidence back. But then going to Utrecht, he was relied upon as a number 9. At Rangers, he was played like on the wing as a number 10, as a second striker, not really as a number 9. So that was the first thing I think that was a big thing for him. They needed goals and he just started getting them. Football obviously moves very quickly. Confidence is a big thing. So when he was with Utrecht, he got it back. And now Twente want to take a chance with him because they want players where they can spend a little bit of money on, maybe make a profit from him in the future. Obviously scoring those goals with Utrecht is a big thing for Twente. Like, oh, let's take a chance with him now, quick, while the iron's hot. And you also get more out of him as a overall striker where he can hold the ball up, move the ball on. He's got a trick or two up his sleeve as well. But yeah, I think that lumbering striker is something that Twente do need, someone who can hold things up and be a threat in the box, which didn't really think was going to happen when he was at Rangers, but now it seems that it is. And yeah, the amount of players that seem to be going to Scotland, now the top end of Scotland from the Eredivisie, it's growing a little more because, you know, you can take a chance on them. They might be on the cheaper side, if you like. They've done it in a league where you're against a lot of low blocks as well, and Proper will have, for example, a lot of the ball. But choosing someone like Vaclav Cerny as well, who's had a brilliant time in the Netherlands, I think he will be able to take on defence, take on left backs, play in the right wing. Should be a starter for Rangers, and I think he'll be a threat, a really direct winger. There are some players I think haven't worked in the past, but I think there are a couple now that I'm more confident on.
You mentioned Vaclav Cerny. He obviously playing at Twente, that link up with Danilo. For those that maybe didn't see that much of it, what was that like? And could you see them maybe rekindling that fire at Ibrox next season?
Yeah, hopefully you can get Danilo fit for a start, and then playing with Cerny and Proper, you're getting a bit of a Twente link-up, which would be good to see. They were a good side that season. Cerny in particular was a threat. I think him in particular, you are going to get someone who plays with strikers such as Dessers and Danilo, where he's used to that kind of player. Cerny likes taking on the fullbacks, defenders, playing trickle two before playing a cross in, or taking a shot. He loves to cut in all the time on his left foot, but likes playing on his right foot too when playing balls in. I can't wait to see what he can achieve. Danilo, yeah, if you get him fit and playing in that kind of Dessers role, they're very similar strikers in my opinion. And playing through balls to those players on the counter-attack. They're quick players, but also, yeah, you get those high-pressing players. Cerny's aggressive, like Dessers will be on the press, and just need to bury some more chances, don't they, Danilo and Dessers? And I think then you're going to be much happier as Rangers fans with these players.
That's brilliant. Some really interesting analysis and expertise from Michael Statham. Thank you, Michael, for joining us here on PLZ Soccer's YouTube channel.